Hello, everybody. We are back for episode 73 of Three Things with JR. I'm JR, and you are listening to me, and it's time for another episode. That's what we're doing, recording. Got it. Hit record. I got stuff to say, things to tell you, and I have a special guest on the show tonight. For the first time in a few weeks, at least, I finally just called somebody out of the blue on Facebook. Saw they were online. I figured, yeah, why not? They're out west. It's not 9 o'clock at night for them. It is for me on Sunday night, September 26th, but it's not for them. It's a couple hours earlier in the day. So I'm going to give my cousin Sara a call. Sara O'Connor. She lives in Colorado, Breckenridge to be specific. Yeah, one of those fancy ski resort towns. She grew up here in Northern Virginia. One of my cousins, younger than me, about 7 or 8 years younger than me, and she and her guy, Alex, who I think he also goes by the name Blue. They live in Breckenridge, and they go snowboarding all winter, and they go hiking all summer, and she is a full-time real estate agent, and she is awesome. A lot of fun talking to Sara and learning about her job, how she sells houses these days, and what she does to go skiing or snowboarding, and what she does in the summer, and hiking, and her dog, and music, and her favorite podcasts, and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, there we go. So we had a nice chat, and that is coming up here in a few minutes, so stay tuned. First, I want to tell you, I'm recording this on Sunday. Last night, Saturday night, Battle of the Bands at Stonefield. My band, TheBandBiG, finally got to play a real show. You know, we've booked a couple shows since the pandemic music thing's finally coming back. This one felt like a real show, a real stage, a real sound person, lights, production. All we had to do was show up and play, and it was awesome. We had a tight 30-minute set. We played 6 songs. Gary broke a string in the middle of the set. He fixed it in like a minute and a half. We threw CDs at the people in the crowd. My daughter came, a couple coworkers came, and man, it was just a really, really fun night. And all of the bands that we were battling against were awesome. We are probably going to lose this battle. They had fans, and they were awesome. They were also young and hip and fun and cool. Every single person was likable and awesome. The other bands were the Musical Suspects, who you might remember the lead singer for the Musical Suspects is the guy that started calling me Butterscotch, which, by the way, a couple people are now calling me Butterscotch, and I think it's just cool as hell. They started off the night. Then Kings of the Wild Things. These guys were amazing. At least a band. They just kind of pop rock, and they've got young energy, and they were too cool. And my favorite thing about them was that one of their dads was the drummer, and he was a badass drummer. So that was awesome. Then we took the stage, played for half an hour, cleared the way for Smoke, the band, and the band is just named Smoke. And you can find them on Spotify. By the way, you can find Kings of the Wild Things on Spotify. And Smoke was like heavy metal. They were, headbanging, long hair, thrashing guitars, big, huge Marshall stacks. Like, they were the real deal. They were badass. If there was more people there, we would have been moshing, but it just wasn't the right kind of thing for that. And then to close the night out, Low Key Tea Party. And they were another sort of young band with a big, powerful drummer. And he finished the last song and broke his drum throne, almost fell off the back of the stage, but he didn't. He saved it and killed it. He was awesome. A dude got up and rapped a couple songs. His name is Chino. He was amazing. And shout out to Epic Seville for putting the show on. As of this recording, they have not yet announced who won the Battle of the Bands. So I think we're all eagerly awaiting their Facebook post announcing the winner. I predict, if I was going to predict, the band that had the most fans there seemed to be Kings of the Wild Things. And I think they're probably going to take home top prize, whatever that might be. I believe it's a spot on the Rock Fest, R-A-W-K, Rock Fest. It's another show. You play music to win a chance to play more music. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's get into some things.
Thing number one.
The audition went great. If you were listening to last week's show, you know that last week I went to Waynesboro, to the Wayne Theater, to audition for a musical. The musical is A Christmas Story. Yes, the movie with the Red Ryder BB gun and the kid with the tongue stuck on the pole and the bullies and You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid, all that stuff. I went to audition for the musical version of that, and to do that, I had to read a monologue and sing a song, and the monologue went really well. I did it for you on last week's show. If you want to know what I did for my monologue, go back and listen to that. But everybody loved it. I had no idea what you are supposed to do for your monologue in an audition like that. I just knew what I could do, and that's what I did, and it seemed to go over really well. And then I sang pretty good too. In fact, I have a recording of it. If I can make it happen, I'll be playing that for you right now.
From the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun will shine by day and all the stars at night. Melekaliki is the wise way to say Merry Christmas to you.
So that was my actual recording, recorded by my girlfriend Kiki on her phone up on the balcony at the theater. There wasn't supposed to be any extra outside people in the auditions, but she snuck in and was able to get video of me singing and doing my monologue. So that was fun. And I went in with the attitude of it's totally fine if I don't get this. I wanted to audition for the experience to see if it was something I could do. And I got a call back. So I went back the next night, and we had to do two things on the second night of auditions. One, I had to learn a dance routine along with the other 20 or 30 people or so that were called back for their auditions. We all learned the same dance routine, and then they broke us up into three groups: the youngest kids, the middle kids, and then us older kids. And all the adults had to do the same dance routine. We did. I knocked it out of the park. I now know what a jazz square is. I didn't know what that was before. I've seen them done, but I didn't know what they were doing or what you called it. But I know what a jazz square is now, and I can do it. And I can do it both directions. So, wow, I never thought I'd have that skill, but I do. And at the end of the dance routine, the whole thing is to like slide down onto the ground and strike a pose for like the punctuated end of the song. And they gave all the adults permission to not lay down on the ground because, maybe not all adults want to get down on the ground and get back up just for an audition when it's not really necessary. But I didn't care. And I did. I laid out and struck the pose, and none of the other adults did. I think I probably stuck out as a feather in my cap for doing that. The rest of the audition was reading sides, and the kids had to get up and sing songs. The character I'm auditioning for is a non-singing role and a non-dancing role, so I don't know why I had to dance, but I didn't have to go up and sing anymore, but I did get to go up for the last hour and read parts of the script with a bunch of other actors auditioning, and so I really got a feel for what I need to do in the show, and I feel pretty good about the whole thing. And now I am just eagerly awaiting an email. They said they would email us hopefully by Friday. They didn't. They said Monday at the latest because they were very busy. And it might take an extra few days. And so it's Sunday night, and I still haven't seen the email. By the time this podcast is out, I should know whether or not I got the role. And when I went into it, I didn't care. It was okay if I didn't get the role. Now that I feel like I've earned the role, I really want the role. I will be disappointed if I don't get the role. And really hoping I do. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I don't have it yet. But if I get it, it'll change the way my life goes for the next 3 months. There'll be four days a week of rehearsals and driving to Waynesboro and learning the lines. Can I even learn the lines? I think that's the thing that I wonder the most is, do I have the ability to learn all those lines, have them memorized, and be able to do them as needed? I hope I have that ability. Really, I don't know if I do or not. But it would sure be cool to know that I do have the ability to learn that many lines, because I'm kind of in every scene. It's the narrator is the the character I'm auditioning for, Gene Shepherd, in A Christmas Story the musical, and I'm in every scene. If you've seen the movie, you hear the narrator's voice jump in all throughout the movie, and it's no different in the play. So that's a lot of lines, and they're all spread out throughout the show. So I've got to be ready with all that stuff. And I think they have like some software that I can download, and I can run my lines with the software, which is like a musical thing, I guess. I'm not familiar with it yet. I'm not going to bother downloading that until I need to download that. But again, I mean, I'm excited. I want the role. I think I have a really good chance of getting it. I don't know yet, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let's not count our chickens before they hatch, people, and we'll just wait to see what happens. Do I get the email? Man, I don't know. We'll see. That's it. That's thing one.
Thing number 2.
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's a Broadway musical. Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote it 48 years ago. That's how long this has been out. It's been a show. I've heard that name a long time. I'm familiar with the Bible story of Joseph and his 11 brothers selling him off, and he goes to jail, and he becomes Pharaoh's right-hand man, and his brothers come to him seeking for help, not realizing it's the brother they thought was dead, and he realizes that they don't know who he is, so he has a little fun with them, and then he reveals himself, and it's a happy ending family reunion sort of a thing, and it's it's a weird little Bible story. And when I found out it was a Broadway musical, I thought, that seems odd that would be a Broadway musical. But I know there's other ones like Jesus Christ Superstar, also written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And I just had zero interest in it, especially after I sort of left Christianity behind, and it wasn't something I cared about. And so when my girlfriend Kiki's like, hey, we should go see this. It's playing up at the top of the mountain in Wintergreen at the ski resort out in the open air at night. And I thought, okay, whatever, I'm good. She hasn't led me wrong yet. And this was no exception. Oh my God, I was not prepared for how fun of a show this was. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought probably boring, probably not great. But Andrew Lloyd Webber and his lyricist, they had a lot of fun telling this story. And it's not really making fun of the Bible story, although it is having fun with the Bible story. And it was just really well done. The songs were cool. I was not expecting a country song and an Elvis song, things like that. Like really just, and I was not prepared for how funny it was going to be. That doesn't seem like all that funny of a Bible story. However, it is. They found the funny in it, and they just told that story in the most fun way possible. I can't recommend it enough. Apparently, there's a movie with Donny Osmond. It's been on Broadway for years. It travels around. There's, local productions everywhere, and this was one of them. And I highly recommend it. It was great. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, it was a fun show.
Thing number 3.
Recently went to Iowa, as you know, and I found some locally made barbecue sauce. I found a couple different varieties in the grocery store there, and I bought some because I do that. I buy local barbecue sauces. I'm very, very into barbecue sauce. And there's one in particular, though, that I just have to have more of. It's called Cookies Barbecue, and it looks local. It looks like a not mass-produced type of barbecue sauce bottle. It's in what looks like a ketchup bottle, but the label is very lo-fi. It's just kind of basic. And then I tried it, and it's going to become my new ketchup. I mean, barbecue sauce and ketchup, they are related, but they're different. And I generally prefer barbecue sauce for, meats and stuff, but I like ketchup on my fries. This is taking over and will be my new ketchup. It's better ketchup than ketchup has ever been. And it's just a little bit of a barbecue. It's like It's like an amazing version of ketchup. I can't explain it enough. I need it in my life. And I went to cookiesbarbecue.com, and you can buy it and have it shipped to you. So I don't have to drive back to Iowa to get more Cookies Barbecue Sauce. Cookies Barbecue or cookiesbbq.com if you're interested in more Cookies Barbecue Sauce. I highly recommend it. I'm going to tag them when I put this on Facebook so they know I'm talking about them. Maybe they'll decide to sponsor the show. How cool would that be? Because I would definitely, I would become their spokesman. They would not have to pay me very much for that to happen. This first one is free, Cookies Barbecue, but if you want more, you won't have to pay me much. Maybe just keep sending me barbecue sauce, and I will keep talking about barbecue sauce. There you go. Those are my 3 things. Where we're going to be back here in a few minutes with my cousin Sara, all the way from Breckenridge, Colorado.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. There's no time for play. Get up, get up, get up. It's a brand new day.
Hello.
Hey, it's working.
It's working good.
What are you doing? Am I interrupting something? Do you have a few minutes to talk?
Yeah, I just was laying on the couch and then my Instagram timer went up, so I'm done with Instagram for today. And then when you called, I was just about to answer and realized it was a video chat. So I was like, let me get up and sit down.
You have an Instagram timer?
And Facebook.
Uh-oh.
An hour and a half. That's all I get.
And who decides how long your timer is? Is that your decision, right?
It's my phone. Yeah, I can put on my phone. And then it's like, hey, guess what? You're done.
So you're saying like you have a problem and this is how you're helping to work on it? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big problem, but I'm like, if I have a timer, I might as well use it.
Otherwise, you would just continue scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through everybody's Instagram and Facebook posts?
Exactly. Well, I had recently just looked at dinner ideas because I was trying to figure out what to make for dinner tonight. So there's a ton of different posts, and it just kept scrolling and scrolling, and then it was like, oh, you got 5 minutes left. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Probably for the best.
I think this is not it's not really an issue like for me, and I don't know if it's everybody in my generation, but I don't seem to struggle with it. Like, I mean, I do my share of scrolling through Facebook, mostly Facebook. But like, you know, Allison, obviously younger than me, you're younger than me. It's just like, I don't know. Is it just no self-control? Is this like a drug you can't stop or something? Like, what's the deal?
It's really not too much of a problem, but I just knew that I had a timer, and I knew that too much social media is bad for you, so I set it. But what happened when I set it was that I don't usually hit my limit, so not too bad.
Nice.
But today I did because it's Sunday, and I went on an awesome hike earlier, so I've literally just been lounging on the couch since lunch.
And what did you decide to make for dinner? What's the result?
Oh God, I have no idea. There were so many ideas, but maybe something with shrimp.
Are you gonna have to go to the store to buy the shrimp or whatever else? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going grocery shopping soon, so trying to figure out some ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
And where'd you go hiking?
It's called Black Powder Pass. So it was in it's in Breckenridge on Boreas Road, Boreas Mountain. Yeah, it's cool. It's an easy one. We were only hiking for like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But it got really steep. We had like 1,000-foot elevation gain, and when we stopped, we were at 12,510 feet.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fun.
And living out there in Colorado, when you go hiking up even higher, do you feel it in your lungs? Is the thinner air an issue for you, or are you totally acclimated? Is that not a problem?
Oh no, I'm pretty acclimated to it. I'm pretty acclimated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's this little fella in the picture here?
Oh, this is Cassidy. They just got back from their walk. Alex is here too.
What's
but
up,
yeah,
Alex?
Well,
it's Adam.
what's that?
I think we're on his podcast.
That's right. You're on a podcast right now. You and Sarah, Alex, and is it Chastity? You said
Oh, Cassidy.
Cassidy. What kind of dog is Cassidy?
He's a healer mix, blue healer mix.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Do you have trouble keeping him from trying to chase cows and horses and stuff like that?
No, we don't really see a lot of those.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Oh. No. He's making some noises. He's been good. Yeah, we got him in April. We've just been taking him on a bunch of hikes. He's doing pretty well off leash. Pretty well. I mean, he like knows we're asking him to come back, and he like waits, and then he'll be like, "Okay, I'll come back now."
It needs to be his decision.
Right. Yeah, we're working on it, but he's been a really good boy.
So I can't help but see in the background there over your left shoulder skis and a snowboard and stuff, and it so makes me. I mean, it's starting to get cool again, and you can't help but start thinking about the mountains and the snow and Colorado. Gosh, man, what's better, Colorado in the winter or Colorado in the summer? Because it looks pretty freaking beautiful either way.
Well, if you ask Alex, I'm sure he'll say the winter. But I'm a big fan of summertime, so I love the summer. I got a ton of great hikes in this summer. But now that the leaves are all changing, it's been really beautiful in the fall. Like, we are definitely in fall weather right now, and so everyone's getting hyped up for winter. And I feel like every year since we've been here, as the fall comes, I get more excited for winter than the year before. So I'm one of these mountain people now. But yeah, we've got most of our gear out already from storage, and it's probably going to snow in the next couple weeks. We had some dusting on Monday, so we'll see.
You've already had a dusting of snow. It's not even October yet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're excited.
Yeah, the weather in Virginia is just starting to get chilly at night. It's in the 50s, but everything's still very green. Nothing started to change yet. So we haven't hit those fall colors or anything. We got another couple weeks or a month to go before we start looking, oranges and reds and browns and all that stuff.
And purples. I miss the fall in Virginia because there's way more colors. And don't get me wrong, it's pretty here and all, but there's just aspens everywhere, so everything is yellow. It's yellow and green. But I like the reds and the purples.
Yeah.
And the mix like a rainbow.
You kind of get all the colors here in Virginia.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Lots of yellows here. It's very yellow right now.
Yeah. And are you like a full-time real estate agent now? Is that your deal?
Yay! Yeah, I am. Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was an admin for a couple of years to kind of help with the bills, and then I finally just said, hey, I'm tired of writing these checks for everyone else. So I've been working with another realtor. She's my mentor, and been doing well. I got 2 listings from cold calling, and these people trusted me, and I was really surprised. So I'm happy about that.
Why would you be surprised? Why would anybody not trust you?
That's good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they just don't know me, but it was good, and I'm enjoying my cold calls. That's a fun thing to do.
Wait, so do you have to do a lot of that? I would think that isn't right now demand far outpacing supply, right? So I mean, selling a house seems like now's the time to be selling a house.
Yeah, it's well, the issue is finding people who own homes.
Oh.
And so you start out with your spheres, what they call it. So I'd call all of my friends and family and say hey, I'm in real estate. Who do you know? Do you or somebody wants to sell or buy a place? But after you get done with all of your family calls, then you have to call people you don't know because there's so many people out there. So I will literally pull people's phone numbers of a neighborhood or something and just call them and literally just be like, hey, I'm a realtor in town. I want to be your friend. I mean, no.
Yeah.
I usually would just say, hey, I'd love to be your like trusted realtor, and for all things Breckenridge, you know, like, and anything in the community that comes up, if you want to call me, I'm always here to help with that kind of stuff too, and like just build that relationship, because sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to sell, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but in 10 years when you do, I want you to call me instead of someone else. So yeah, so that's how that goes. It's been fun.
Yeah, so I immediately thought of, you know, cold calling. You were trying to find people that want to buy houses, but no, it's the exact opposite. Because there's so much demand, you're trying to find people that are willing to sell their house. Because I'm guessing like right now is a great time if you are deciding to sell your house. You can probably get a pretty hefty return on your investment and such. So
people are ready to pull out their equity from their homes, and it's a good time for both sides. I mean, mortgage rates are low, so it's great for buyers, and sellers are at like top dollar right now for all of their places because all of the prices have been going up. So if it makes sense, yeah, it's a reasonable decision for a lot of people, and they're happy to do it. But yeah, the cold calling, I'd like to find listings. I mean, that was our problem, was that I had a bunch of buyers and nothing to buy, and I figured, well, shoot, let's find them some places.
So like, what's your, like, how do you get, I mean, I can't even, my job is to train people that receive phone calls from interested buyers, right? Like so it's like, we don't have to cold call anybody. There's enough people calling us that, you know, that it's great. Having to cold call is a totally different skill. Just to get people to not just hang up. Like, how do you do that? Like, what's the secret?
Oh, they hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they totally hang up. I think it's like the first, it's the elevator pitch. So I have to be kind of quick, and I have to be, usually I'll try to find something to offer them as well. Right now we have a lot of short-term rental stuff going on. Like, we have an ordinance that town of Breckenridge is passing that will affect everyone because they want to put a limit to the permits that are allowed. And since we're in a resort community, we have a ton of second home buyers that have investment properties. So they have their apartment or condo in Breck that they will come and visit whenever they feel like visiting. But then on the off, like when they're not here, they'll rent them out short term through Airbnb and VRBO and make a ton of money that way.
Yeah.
But we also have a housing issue with our workforce, so the locals can't afford to live here, and they're all leaving, and the town is trying to figure out what to do. So unfortunately, they're putting a limit on short-term rentals, which is actually just going to really hurt a lot of our homeowners and not really solve the problem because it's still expensive for people to live here. Either way, that's one of the reasons I'm calling a bunch of people. I'll call them and I'll just say, hey, like, I really like your community, and I've worked with some people in your building or whatever, whoever I'm calling, and just saying, like, I'd love to get to know you and everyone else in this area. By the way, are you aware of what's going on in the short-term rental? So if you have some kind of thing to offer, it helps you get in that conversation, and they usually will be like, oh yeah, I know about that, or tell me more, or whatever. And it could be anything else. We do like quarterly webinars for different investment topics, and so sometimes I'll just say, hey, I'm just calling to see if you'd be interested in this webinar or whatever. So always have something to contribute and smile while you're talking.
That's a real thing. Yeah.
It is.
People can hear your smile for sure.
It's funny. Yep.
Have you been to any cool concerts or anything since, music has started happening live again? Have you been able to get out and do that?
Yeah. We went to Dark Star Orchestra, Red Rocks earlier this summer. That was amazing. And then we just went to Grizz at Red Rocks, and I feel like that's pretty much it for me. I haven't really been to much of many other shows. I went to like Copper Mountain. They had some like free live music yesterday, and that was pretty fun too. I just saw that Dead and Company is playing Red Rocks. I looked up tickets. It's like $300 a ticket. So
oh my God.
Like, maybe I won't go to that one. But normally we go every year, and normally they're not even at Red Rocks, which is crazy. So it's been it. But yeah, the shows that we went to were really fun. Grizz was amazing.
$300 tickets to see Dead and Company. That doesn't seem very Dead and Company like.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. Did you know that they were playing Red Rocks? Okay. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I think it's just a like everybody wants to go to that show, so probably reselling tickets at this point, and then it's just gone up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've given me one band that has become one of my favorite bands of all time. I'd never heard of them before you mentioned them, Go-Go Bordello. And you just now mentioned two bands I've never heard of, Grizz and what is it, Dark Star Orchestra? What do I need to know? Do I need to look these up and immediately start listening? What's going on with them?
Dark Star Orchestra is another Grateful Dead cover band.
Okay.
But they're really good. So definitely look them up. And then Grizz is a producer. He's a DJ producer, but he also plays saxophone. And he has a lot of funky tones into his music, but he'll also do like dub stuff. So he's like electronic DJ.
Okay.
But he's great, and he kind of is like all over the board. So I think you'll really enjoy exploring his music. And the cool thing is that when he did Red Rocks, it was not like a last minute, but kind of last minute, because his show didn't get put into the books until like way earlier in the spring or the summer. But he managed to catch like a Monday night at Red Rocks. And the last time he played Red Rocks was a big deal because it was like he wasn't going to play Red Rocks anymore because of the noise ordinance or something like that. But everybody was really psyched to see that he was coming back. And he did he did 3 different sets. So
6 hours.
it was 6 hours, but 3 different sets,
Wow.
just him. And then what was the first set? So he like has his music from like,
I did Chasing the Golden Hour.
he did Chasing the Golden Hour, which is one of his newer albums. And then he did like his 2010 and 2017 is like his previous music, but everyone goes crazy about it. So that was like another set. And then he has another new album that he came out with. So he's been really busy making music in the pandemic. We also have tickets to his 3-nighter show in Broomfield for Halloween. So that's going to be in a venue that's like a 360. So he's like in the middle and everybody can stand around him. Yeah. So we're pretty psyched about that too. Working on our costume ideas.
And does he like DJ like with the records and his computer or whatever and play saxophone? Does he like combine all that when he's performing?
Yep.
Yeah, and live band.
There's Alex. And
What's up,
live
dude?
band.
That's cool. Have you heard of? Have you guys heard of a DJ duo called Galantis?
Yes.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're the only I've seen them live, and they were amazing. But they have like this huge wall of like drums behind their mixing boards, right? So there's 2 dudes, they're both mixing, and then one of them will turn and start banging on some huge drum, and he'll go back to mixing in the other one, and then they'll both hit the drums. Like it was a really fun show. Like I can imagine myself getting bored just watching a guy spinning records and mixing songs and scratching and all that. But when you start to combine that with a live music performance, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that can happen in that.
Oh yeah, for sure. That sounds like a really good show.
Yeah, my girlfriend Kiki, her brother Cody, he's been on this podcast. He was like the tour manager for Galantis, and the tour came through DC. So we drove up to see Cody because we don't get to see Cody. He lives in LA. So we got to see him, hang out backstage, have dinner backstage, and we waited until way too late. We both had to be back and up early the next morning.
Oh my goodness!
I know. And Galantis was supposed to go. They were supposed to go on at midnight, and one of them was having a contact lens issue back at the hotel, so they were late. So they didn't go on till like 12:45, and we're like, we really should go, but you know, we came all the way here, and this is the main event, so. We hung out and stuck it out, and we watched them for a good hour before we finally just had to get out of there. But it was totally unique. I'd never really seen a show like that before, and it was a lot of fun.
Was it at the Anthem?
It was at some weird venue in DC. It was not the Anthem. I swear to God, it was like next to a strip club, but it was huge. And it was like mainly for like EDM and stuff. Like I don't know exactly where.
Yeah. Echo Stage.
Echo Stage. That's it. That's the place.
Man, I remember that place.
Yeah,
I haven't
like
been there in years.
2 big bars along the sides, huge dance floor, huge stage. I think there's balconies around the edge and stuff. We were in the VIP section on stage left. It was awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that's a kind of a sketchy venue when you like get out, you're like, okay, I need to go home now.
Yep. Yeah.
You catch a ride real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, we lucked out. We got to park back behind the venue, like in the VIP parking.
That is so cool that Cody's doing that.
Yeah, Cody's a neat guy. He works with Lana Del Rey primarily now. So
wow.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah, he's like her tour manager, and when she's not touring, he's like her personal assistant. So he works with her closely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, music. Well, Gogo Bordello played, but I missed it. Didn't really have anyone to go with, so I was like debating whether I should just go or not. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff on my list. I missed Alanis Morissette at Red Rocks. That would have been pretty amazing.
Did you say there's a noise ordinance at Red Rocks? Like that seems wrong.
Yeah, they have to be done by 11, I think, 12, the latest, and then it's like $1,000 a minute or something if they go.
Who all are they bothering if they keep playing later? Like, is there neighbors really close by? I would.
Yeah, they've got like neighborhoods and stuff nearby. More the town. It's like the town of Morrison, or city of Morrison. But they got a new stage. Have you ever been to Red Rocks?
Nope, I've certainly seen pictures and I know.
Oh yeah, you gotta go to Red Rocks. It's a great experience.
How far away from Red Rocks are you guys?
About an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so we usually will try to like stay the night or something in downtown or.
Is that right at Denver?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
Okay.
It's in Morrison, which is like we'll hit Red Rocks on our way to Denver, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we came out there, we were. I had a friend telling me like, "Here, you got to go to Red Rocks. You got to do this. You got to do that." And there was just no time for that because that huge storm was coming through. We weren't even sure we were going to be able to get from where we stayed in Denver into the mountains where you guys are.
To Breck.
Yeah, and luckily we were able to finally get through. It took longer, like 3 hours instead of an hour and a half, but it wasn't bad. We had a nice SUV and had no trouble getting anywhere we wanted to go. But yeah, it was sketchy there, so we weren't able to really make any scenic stops. We did stop at the REI in Denver, which is the coolest outdoor store we've ever been to.
Huge. We went to. I mean, I think there's a couple, but yeah, we were there not too long ago, and the outlet.
No, it's just like the biggest REI there is.
Oh, yeah. It's the biggest one there is. Yeah. Yeah, we checked it out. I was like, I guess I don't really have anything I need to get at this moment, but
you wish you were in the need of something from there, right? Like I needed boots. I got some.
Yeah, we've got some. I was gonna say we got some compasses because we're doing our Avi training in February. So for like the backcountry stuff, it's basically we're just doing a class where they can teach us about how to safely maneuver around backcountry and all the hazards of avalanches and what not to do, pretty much.
So so you can take your boards off of the beaten path and like come down through where there's not normally slopes and there's nobody.
Exactly.
There's no ski patrol making sure everybody's safe. You just got to make sure you get yourself out of there.
Right. So a lot of people will skin up different mountains, and then you can find. Yeah, it's like you don't have to have a ski pass, and then you can find your own adventures as long as you know what you're doing. So we both have stuff to skin. Like, so we have split boards. Actually, I think you can see it right here. It's this thing. Yeah. When you put it together, it becomes a snowboard. But the way it is now, it's like skiing.
Yeah.
So you're like have one foot on each like ski, and then you can skin up. So you climb up a mountain with them, and then when you get to the top, you peel off your skins, you put the board together, and then you have a snowboard to go down. And people do it with skis too. Yeah. Touring, skinning. I learned this when I moved here too. I was like, I don't know what that is. But I've done it. We did it last winter. It was great. So I could and mostly it's for exercise for me because I don't have any training, so I'm not doing anything too sketchy. So we would just go up Breck before it opened, catch the sunrise, and then ride down, and then be on with our day.
Well, that's cool. So skinning is the act of climbing the mountain?
Yeah, so you have you put these skins on the bottom of your skis, and it helps grab the snow so you can climb up the mountain.
Oh, the skins so they're not slippery, they're grippy, so you can use them. You keep them on your feet, and you're basically walking up the mountain on skis that grip the snow.
Yeah, they're actually kind of furry.
They're called skins because they used to be made out of seal skin.
Ah.
But now they're all whatever.
Synthetic, made in a lab. We don't need to kill seals so that you can walk up a mountain to ski down a mountain.
Yeah. Right? To walk that around. It's funny because you only do one run, so you're like, what? But it's for exercise. It's nice.
Yeah, that makes sense because my version of skiing is very, very little exercise. It's sitting on a thing to go up top and then standing up and go as fast as I can down to the bottom. Which will get your heart pumping. It'll be a little bit of adrenaline, but it's not exactly a workout either.
Right. I think, a lot of people will argue with me because I felt like that too, where I'm like, I'm riding down the mountain. It's not that much exercise, but it kind of is. And especially in powder. Oh man.
Yeah,
you can feel it.
I stay away from powder. Now, powder is not for me. No, I want the groomers. I want a lot of groomers. That's all I need. I don't need bumps or powder.
Yeah.
No, it'll work out. It'll work out certain muscles for sure. Right. But it's not like an aerobic workout, like running or something. Right.
But there's definitely some times where I found myself sweating after a really hard run and being like, whoa, that was a lot of work. But usually it's in powder or just trying to go crazy, down some crazy lines. But,
right.
Oh, it's so much fun. I'm excited. I'm happy.
So the podcast is called Three Things with JR. You might already know that if you're paying any attention to my Facebook feed. Have you listened to any of them yet?
Yeah, of course. Oh, I definitely listen to, especially if it's our family. So with your dad, and I think I've heard with you and Aubrey and Allison. It's how we catch up, and Chester.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
I talked to Megan a month or so ago while she was driving to the beach with her kids. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that one too because I missed it. And then, yeah. But I'm glad they're doing really well.
Cool. Well, what I like to do to people now is just call them out of the blue and interview them for the podcast without telling them first, and then putting them on the spot. And and the three things is how we sort of finish it up. So I'm gonna ask you for three things. It's easy. It's no problem.
Okay.
Thing number one. Tell me something deep, like a deep thought you've had, an epiphany, something you think everybody should know, something you've learned recently, anything like that. What do you got for me with that?
What's deep? Oh, man. I guess something that's really important that I had also just reread not too long ago was to listen to people, just listen in general. When people are talking, don't try to figure out what you're going to say, but really listen.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we are trying to be okay, and you're not really paying attention, and you're not really absorbing what's going on, and you're thinking too much when you should be kind of, shutting up.
Taking it in, actually listening. Boy, that is a skill. And even when you know how important that is, it's still a skill you've got to work on because it's so easy to let your mind wander, to start, like you said, thinking about what you're going to say next. But to actually listen, man, if you can do that, and if you can make sure the person who's talking can tell you're listening, it makes them want to talk more, and to it engages them even better, like even more. So listening is huge. That's awesome.
For sure. And here, I can help you out with that too. I got to grab a charger because my phone might die. But
Okay.
The what do you call them? I forget what you call them, anagrams or something. But wait, like WAIT.
Yeah.
Why am I talking? So even when I'm like meeting new people, like when I'm doing my phone calls, my cold calls, that's one of the things I have in front of me too. That's like, you want to listen, you want to get them to keep talking. And silence is fun because people get like awkward when you're quiet and they just start talking.
Yep.
But for real. But always listen to what they're saying. And then, yeah, you have to like just kind of, it's a skill for sure. I'm terrible at that, so I'm working on it. But yeah, why am I talking?
That's awesome. That's going to be the title of the episode. Why am I talking?
Cool.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That is the perfect thing one. So nice job. Told you this was easy. Thing number 2, you can't choose Dark Star Orchestra, Grizz, or Gogol Bordello. Other than that, what are you listening to right now that's got you the most excited? Like, what's your favorite song or band or go-to to listen to right now?
Ooh, so music, huh?
Yeah.
I've been so hung up on podcasts right now. But okay, let's do music. What was I listening to recently? You know what I love actually is like our old school 2000s, like 90s 2000s hits. So I have like old playlists with like what's that, those Spin Doctors and like Spice Girls and Offspring and like just old stuff, and that's what I usually listen to.
I love Offspring. Oh my gosh, I could listen to them all day.
I really want to see them too.
I've seen them once. I've seen them once at the DC 101 Chili Cook-Off. Aubrey and I went. Chester was there with us. They put on a fantastic show. That was awesome.
I've been to a couple of those.
Yeah, those were great shows. So you're more into listening to podcasts. That's cool. It can be a podcast. Give me a podcast recommendation. What are you listening to?
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. This one is called Know Your Aura. It's a medium who can see aura colors around people. And apparently the way that your color will kind of determine what kind of traits you have or how you act. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain, but for instance, the easiest part for me to recognize is greens. Greens are like really technical, like they love technology, or they like gadgets, or they like, systems, and they're a certain breed. But people are mostly like more than one color, so it doesn't mean that you're just that. And blues and purples are like empaths. I could seriously go on forever about this, but I've been listening to a lot of mediums, so I'm all up in the 4th and 5th dimension here.
And do you listen for the entertainment value, or do you believe in all that stuff, or like what?
Believe in all of it. Yeah, believing in all of it. Yeah. So even just like the spirit world and all of our lost loved ones are just kind of hanging out. They'll come and hang out with us if we want them to. I mean, obviously you don't really see them, but you'll know from signs and stuff. But yeah, I believe in all that stuff, and it's really interesting to hear because I listen to other podcasts with mediums, and they all talk about the same things. And the way that the mediumship works. So, yeah.
Cool. I was not ready for that one. You asked if I was ready. I thought I was ready, but I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
All right. Thing number 3.
Okay.
Just tell me something stupid, like a dumb thought, a dumb joke, potty humor. I mean, anything like that at all. Anything you got.
Oh, I got one.
Ah, nice.
So my dog's grandma was a raccoon, and you know how he can tell us because he's got this raccoon tail right here.
Oh, he totally does. That definitely I can. The listeners at home won't be able to see it, but Cassidy absolutely has the tail of a raccoon.
So that's my most fun dad joke on our hikes. Every time I meet a new person and they're like, look at that tail. I'm like, his grandma was a raccoon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So sad I won't be a dad one day because I've got so many good dad jokes.
You know, you can identify as a dad or something if you want. Come on, you can tell dad jokes. There's nothing wrong with that. Dad jokes are great.
I'm like, Alex, you got to say this right now. No.
Yeah, you could be a dad joke writer.
Right? Yeah.
Right? Like maybe that's a service you could offer to people. Are you a dad? Are you not very good at coming up with dad jokes? I have some. They're $10 each, or 20 for $100 or something like you could sell dad jokes.
For $10.99 a month, you have access to our subscription.
A subscription service. Yeah. Hell yes.
All about subscription services these days.
Sara O'Connor's dad jokes galore.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer. This has been a lot of fun getting caught up. I haven't really gotten to see you since we were out there. We're coming up on 2 years since we were out there, since
oh my goodness, too long.
It was right before the pandemic started. Like there was talk about COVID and we were like, what's that? Who knows? Who cares? And then that was in February, and it was just a couple weeks later that everything shut down. And that sucked.
Oh, yeah. That last day, I rode all day. It was like it was a Saturday. And we didn't really know what was going to happen. They were starting to talk about separating people on the lift or something. But I remember riding all day. As soon as we got off the mountain, word got out, Vail's closed.
Wow.
That was it.
Was done.
Done. No real fair warning, and I was just happy I got it. I got one last day in. And
that just killed the rest of the season, right? Nothing reopened at all for the rest of 2020 until the winter, and then it kind of opened with rules, right?
Yeah, so last season we all had to just have our buffs and masks cover our faces, and then each party was riding on the lift together. And then you could separate parties with a seat in between.
On the really big lift chairs.
Yeah, they also did a reservation system, so you had to make a reservation, and on the busy days, sometimes they didn't have reservations, but you could still manage because if you refresh your screen over and over, one would eventually. But this year they're not doing reservations, which is pretty cool. So
that was kind of it was like a pro and a con, right? So we went skiing in snowshoe here in West Virginia near us in 2020, 2021. And, skiing with all the mask rules and all of that. But it was kind of cool that you never had to ride the lift with other people you don't know. We don't have lift chairs big enough where they made us do that. You could be one person. They'd be like, sure, go for it. We're not pairing you up with anybody. And so it was kind of cool because you could just sit there on the lift chair and listen to music and smoke cigarettes and not have to worry about bothering anybody or make conversation or small talk with some random stranger. But then I found that after a day of that, I kind of missed meeting people on the lift, talking about where you're from, how long was your drive, where you're staying, and just talking about, and you meet interesting people. So it was kind of nice not to have to do it, but then I kind of wanted it by the end.
Well, that's part of my business too. I'm working on the slopes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, every time I sit down, if I'm in the mood, I'll definitely strike conversations with every person on each lift and be like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Do you want to live here?
I can make that happen.
I can make it happen. But the best part is not sharing with those people that have their speakers in their backpacks and decide that everyone should listen to what they're playing.
Yep.
The worst. But yeah, no, it's going to be fun. This season should be good. We're excited for you, Kiki, to come out.
Yeah, we don't have any ski vacation plans in the works right now at all. So we don't know. Work is going to be super busy for me starting in January. And
Oh.
so we're going to have some time in like November, December where neither one of us is crazy busy. We'll be able to take some time, but we don't even know where we want to go. Like we want to go back to New York City. We haven't been there in a while and we miss it. We just miss being in New York, but we also miss being in Banff and skiing there, Colorado, skiing there. We just want to go, you know, on some epic ski vacation. It's, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. So
Maybe next year.
yeah.
No worries. We'll be ready either way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Oh, I love hearing from you. And it's so funny when you called because I was like, uh-oh. I know what this is.
That's awesome. People know now. If for a long time I would call and people are like, hey, did you butt dial me? I'm like, no, I'm actually calling. And here's why.
Yeah. Great. Oh, so fun. Well, thanks for calling. This is
Absolutely. Tell Alex I said, hey, see you, buddy. Next time we're out there, feel free to come to Virginia anytime you guys want. We got a spare room here if you need a place to stay in Charlottesville. We'd love to have you.
Oh, that would be, that'd be beautiful. I love it out there. It's so pretty.
Awesome. Well,
thank you.
have a great one. Love you guys.
Okay, love you guys. Have a good night.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a brand new day.